Bright stars speak of your virtues. Chapter 3. As his patterned career increased its brilliance in the early years of the 17th century, Galileo continued struggling to meet all his expensive family responsibilities. In 1600, his younger brother, the musical Michelangelo, was invited to play at the court of a Polish prince, and despite the maturity of his 25 years, he tapped Galileo for the clothing and money he needed to make the trip. Also, in 1600, the same year Galileo saw the birth of his daughter Virginia, he found a husband for his sister Livia. Upon her marriage to Taddeo Galletti in 1601, Galileo negotiated the dowry, paid for the ceremony and the wedding feast, and also bought Livia's dress, which was made of black Naples velvet with light blue damask that cost more than 100 scudi. Then, in 1608, Michelangelo got married, moved to Germany, and reneged on his promised share of the sisters' dowry contracts, precipitating a legal action by brother-in-law Benedetto Landucci, who complained of being cheated out of his expected sum. Fortunately, Galileo's endeavors led him to a new source of supplemental income. In the course of teaching military architecture and fortification to private students, he had invented his first commercial scientific instrument in 1597, called the geometric and military compass. It looked like a pair of metal rulers joined by a pivot, covered all over by numbers and scales, with screws and attachable arch to hold the compass arms open at almost any angle. By 1599, after various modifications, the device functioned as an early pocket calculator that could compute compound interest or monetary exchange rates, extract square roots for arranging armies on the battlefield, and determine the proper charge for any size cannon. Shipwrights at the nearby Venetian arsenal also adopted Galileo's revolutionary compass to help them execute and test new hull designs in scale models before building them full size. Galileo crafted the first few compasses himself, but soon required the services of a full-time, live-in instrument maker to meet the popular demand. The hired craftsman moved into Galileo's house with wife and children in tow to work in exchange for salary, room, and board for his whole family, all production materials, and a 2/3 share of the price of finished brass instruments, which sold for 5 scudi each. Galileo would not have made much money under these conditions, except that he charged every visiting student nearly 20 scudi to learn how to use the compass, and all of this was his to keep. At first, he gave out a personally handwritten instruction manual as a learning aid. Then, in 1603, he hired an amanuensis to help generate enough copies until 3 years later, when he hit on the idea of publishing the booklet for sale with the instrument. He called his treatise Operations of the Geometric and Military Compass of Galileo Galilei. Florentine patrician and teacher of mathematics in the University of Padua. Very interesting, very interesting.